The Jobless Slay Queen. In a bustling Nigerian city, where the elite paraded luxury and grandeur, Kola had just one aspiration: to marry a woman who was the epitome of beauty, grace, and sophistication. He wanted the kind of wife that would command attention, make heads turn, and leave his friends gaping in awe. He was known to tease his friends for their average wives, calling them house girls, as they were the kind who wore simple clothes, packed lunch for work, and sometimes skipped parties just to care for their families. "Watch and learn, boys," Kola would boast. "When I step out with my queen, you'll understand what it means to have a wife that makes people stare." Years passed, and Kola's search finally ended when he met Amanda, a stunning woman with caramel skin, long Brazilian weaves, and perfectly polished nails. She was everything he'd imagined and more. Wherever they went, Amanda's beauty and impeccable fashion sense stole the spotlight. The admiration from strangers, envious looks from women, and stunned stares from men fulfilled every fantasy Kola had ever dreamed of. His friends grumbled but watched, secretly amused, as he paraded Amanda proudly, telling them this was the true standard of a wife. In no time, the wedding bells rang, and Kola married his slay queen in a lavish ceremony fit for royalty. His friends attended, shaking their heads and laughing amongst themselves, wondering if Kola had bitten off more than he could chew. But Kola paid no mind to their doubts. He was in bliss, drowning in the euphoria of having married the most beautiful woman in town. But reality hit Kola as soon as the honeymoon phase ended. Amanda was, indeed, everything he had desired on the outside, but inside she was a complete stranger. He began to notice small things at first: the dirty dishes piling up in the sink, the way Amanda refused to clean, and her habit of ordering takeout every single day. One evening, after a long day at work, Kola asked her if she could cook his favorite dish, egusi soup. She simply laughed, scrolling through her phone, and said, "Kola, darling, do you think I'd go anywhere near a hot pot and risk my nails?" Taken aback, Kola realized Amanda had never cooked a meal for him. In fact, she had never worked a day in her life. Her idea of busy was attending brunches, shopping sprees, and updating her social media with pictures of her designer outfits. She was notorious for hosting extravagant parties, and every month, she drained Kola's pockets on lavish, high-end outfits, shoes, and jewelry, each purchase more unnecessary than the last. Kola's bank account started to bleed under the weight of Amanda's lifestyle. He had envisioned a life of elegance and class, but what he got was an endless financial burden. He once tried to have a conversation with Amanda about curbing her spending, but she scoffed, saying, "I'm your trophy wife, Kola. This is what you signed up for." Things worsened when Kola's mother came to visit and discovered Amanda couldn't even make simple jollof rice. His mother pulled him aside and said, "Kola, a home needs a wife, not a mannequin. Look at your friends' wives. They may not be runway models, but they are women who build homes." Kola started to resent the very sight of Amanda's closet brimming with unworn clothes and shoes. He felt as though he was living in a house, not a home. His friends, the very ones he used to mock, now had the last laugh as they watched his frustrations grow. One day, during a dinner with his friends, Kola couldn't hold back his anger anymore. "Why didn't anyone warn me?" he lamented. His friend Ton chuckled, patting him on the back. "We did, Kola. But you wanted a queen, not a wife." As months passed, Kola felt suffocated. The worst blow came when Amanda announced, "I'm not ready to ruin my figure with pregnancy, Kola. I'm not about to be a mother anytime soon." For the first time, Kola found himself in tears. All he had dreamed of, a loving family, children, a warm home, was slipping away. He watched his friends' wives care for their children, laughed at their jokes, and even cooked meals for family gatherings. He envied the simplicity and genuine love they shared. The extravagance he had once desired now seemed hollow, leaving him feeling empty. One evening, as Amanda prepared to leave for yet another party, Kola sat alone in their grand, silent home, lost in regret. He had chased beauty and found a burden. He had mocked simplicity, only to crave it in the end. Kola learned the hard way that in the quest for beauty, he had ignored what truly mattered: love, partnership, and a woman who could build a home with him. But by then, it was too late. The house was quiet, and in that silence, Kola's regret spoke louder than words ever could. As months went by, Kola's financial situation grew more strained. Amanda's spending was relentless, and Kola's once thriving bank account was now nearly dry. Tension filled the air, with Kola constantly urging her to rein in her expenses, but Amanda's response was always the same: cold indifference or outright dismissal. One evening, Kola returned home to find Amanda seated in their living room, her face radiant with excitement. "Kola, darling," she began, "I think it's time we talk about our future." But the glint in her eye held no warmth. It was calculative, almost mercenary. Kola listened in shock as Amanda explained that she'd met a man at a recent party who could provide her with the luxurious lifestyle she craved. "I just can't live like this anymore," she declared, glancing at him as if he were beneath her. "You're not the man I thought you were, Kola. You promised me a life of luxury, and look at us now." Without another word, Amanda rose from her seat, picked up her designer purse, and walked out of the house, leaving Kola stunned and alone. His dream had shattered before his eyes, his slay queen slipping away to another man, richer, perhaps, but as shallow and materialistic as she was. In the weeks that followed, Kola reflected bitterly on his decisions. He had lost everything he once held dear, all for the illusion of status and beauty. Now, he saw that the true gems had been with his friends all along, their wives, modest but loving, who built lives together rooted in simplicity and joy. Alone and burdened with debt, Kola's regrets weighed on him heavily as he finally understood the cost of vanity and pride.